So weirdly enough, we've been pretty non-stop with Sly Cooper news for about the past month. And in this video, I just kind of wanted to stop, reflect on that, and more in particular, go more in depth on the Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonus PS5 release. So we made a video about the announcement. Now that it's been about a month, let's see how it's doing. I can understand that in a lot of communities, a little release like this wouldn't be that big of a deal, and I know a lot of people are enjoying it for what it is, but there is some undertones in the community where we want to know if this is taking us anywhere. And I've stated in previous videos, I don't think this release is an indication that Sony wants to make a new game or push the series further, but even if it's not the main reason for this release, if Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonus were to do astronomically well, I think that could open Sony's eyes to potentially trying new things out and maybe even a new game. So let me reiterate, this release itself isn't a super big deal, but Sony now has a better idea of where the franchise stands than it did before the release. That's always a good thing. But hey, let's see what the actual facts are. What are the metrics looking like for this game? Now, there was an article released just the other day, about 4 days ago, from Game Rant. I'm going to go ahead and read a little excerpt from it, and it has some numbers that you might be interested in. Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonus is having an excellent month since returning to the PSN store via PS Plus Premium. The 22-year-old game is currently reigning as a bestseller on Sony's digital store with a 4.6 star rating out of more than 7,000 reviews. And perhaps most impressively of all, a recent report indicates that the game is the most successful re-release Sony has had on its hands yet, beating out classic titles like the original Twisted Metal and Tomb Raider Legend. On the surface, it might seem like Sly fans coming out in force to support an old childhood favorite, but there's more going on than that. I'm going to cut it off right there. That is fantastic. Now, we did cover the 4.6 out of 10 average rating in a previous video, but it's good to see that it stayed there. And 7,000 reviews with a 4.6 overall is great. It really looks like the community is just trying its best to let Sony that we know that we want more. And another metric that I want to throw out there, this was about 2 weeks after the release of the game. At around that point, Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonus was the 16th most played game on PSN. And I'm not exactly sure where it stands right now, but to be at that point at all, at any time, is a pretty big feat. I mean, at one point, it was just 3 spots behind Overwatch 2, 5 spots behind Rocket League. Obviously, Fortnite was in the #1 place, but to be on that list at all, like in the top 20, is pretty big. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And people were definitely excited for the release and didn't wait to get it. Like, people came in droves just to play a 20-year-old game right when it released. What I'm trying to say is that I think something like that won't go unnoticed by PlayStation. You know, that doesn't mean that they'll see that and they'll greenlight a new game and, you know, invest a whole lot of money into a brand new project. But what I can see happening is the rest of the Sly Cooper series, at least 2 and 3, getting re-released as well. I mean, Sly Cooper and the Devious Raccoonus is probably more of a success than they ever thought it would be being re-released, so I don't see why they wouldn't do 2 and 3 as well after seeing these numbers. But not only that, we could see more release of merchandise, and I said it in my previous video. They already seem to be bringing back old IPs in little ways. We got, you know, a bunch of Easter eggs for old IPs in Astrobot, the re-release of Sly on PS5, the re-release of Daxter on PS5 as well, and just as recently, an announcement that Sly Cooper and Ratchet & Clank will be getting their own U2's figure. I mean, all that Sly stuff was already happening and being in development at the same time before the release of Sly 1 on PS5, or before how they knew how that would do. And now that they know, I could definitely see us getting way more of this type of stuff. Whether or not we get a Sly 5 or a remake or whatever it is, I think it's safe to say that we're going to get more Sly stuff, period, no matter how small that is. It's really not that hard to re-release an old Sly game via emulation on PS5, so I think it's safe to say we're going to see in 2 and 3 sometime in the near future. I mean, that's like very bare minimum effort. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot of resources to get that done. And the fact that Sony can make all of this money off a 20-year-old game with minimal effort put into it, I think they're going to want to take advantage of that even more in the near future. It's a little bit more effort to license stuff out and get a U2's made, but seeing all this stuff, and especially if the U2's does well, then it'll probably be a mainstay and we'll probably see it way more often. And who knows, if these small things keep stacking up over time, and more little successes can equal a big success in a brand new game. So who knows, that's just where my head is at the moment. And with PlayStation more often throwing their hat in the ring with TV shows, I could definitely see the possibility of them trying that Sly Cooper TV show again. Whoever knows what happened to that, I have no idea, but I think that, in my opinion, it would probably be more likely than a brand new game. So hey guys, if you have a PS5 and you got like a spare, what, $10? I think it's $10. Please go buy this game, leave a good review. I mean, as big of a Sly fan that I am, and I'm saying all of this and trying to encourage you guys, I don't have a PS5, so I can't get it. I haven't made videos on it because can't play that emulated version. But I usually emulate the games on my PC, and since then I haven't really played them the normal way. What you're seeing right now in the background as well, I'm going to get a little off topic because I've pretty much made my point, is Sly 2 Dark Mode. So I emulate the games on PCXX2 and PS2 emulator, and there's been mods made for Sly Cooper, especially Sly 2, and recently I've been doing a playthrough of Sly 2 Dark Mode. What I'm trying to do is compile a complete walkthrough of the game. It's probably going to be multiple hours of just playing Dark Mode because everything looks different, everything. And I know people, especially myself, like to turn on like different walkthroughs of games on in the background if I'm like just doing chores, cleaning up, stuff like that, or to like fall asleep. And there's never been one of this mod or even stuff like that, so I'd really like to do that in the future where I kind of just do playthroughs of the Sly games with maybe different mods on, different customizations. Dark Mode is definitely the first one to do because that's more aesthetic, and I think it's probably the best one. There's also a horseshoe mod available for Sly 2, which doesn't actually add a horseshoe in the game, but changes your health to be more similar to Sly 1, where you can only get, I believe, a maximum of like 3 hit points. So that'll be fun as well. The reason I'm talking about this is because I'm also doing a Cooper cast, where I've just recorded a Cooper cast talking about Sly Cooper mods with a couple of guests. So stay tuned for that as well. Just wanted to give a little channel update because we seem to be rounding out the news cycle for Sly Cooper. I can't really see anything else getting announced in the near future. I mean, I would absolutely cross my fingers. I would love to see that, but we're probably going to get back into normal content here soon. Anyways, with that being said, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.